welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for your love and for your support. If you are new to the channel, you are highly and very welcome. If you have not subscribed, please, I would appreciate if you will hit on the subscribe button and then hit on the bell also on the side to get an update whenever I upload a new video. If you want to register for our online classes, you can see my number scrolling through the screen. Send me a message on WhatsApp. I'll give you the details of the classes we have available. Okay guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew this flare sleeve top, so you can see it, or you can call it a funnel sleeve top. So you can see is a cut together sleeve. So if you take a good look at it, so I have my fabric here already. So I have about 2.5 yards of fabric. That's what I'm going to do because of this, it is a cut together sleeve. So the next thing I'm going to do now, so I've folded my fabric into 4. I'm going to cut the back and the front together. It is folded into 4. So I'm not going to be adding a zip to this dress. I'm just going to put a slit on the back neckline, so it will be able to enter your neck line, so you'll be able to put it on rather. So if you want to make this kind of dress, what you would measure is what you will use to measure the length of your sleeve is from your center back. So that's your across back. So for mine, I'm going to be using about 30 inches from across back to the snip of my sleeve. So that's my 30 inches here. So that's what you put into consideration. And then the next thing, you're going to measure the length of your blouse. So for the length of my blouse, I'm just going to use about 25 inches. So I added just 2 inches. I have about 2 inches here that I'll use as allowance. So that's for that. The next thing what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come to this point now. So that's where my sleeve is going to get to. I'll come to this point. So from this point, I'm going to mark 1 inch. So from that 1 inch, I'm just going to float that 1 inch into the neckline area like this. So this is the neckline. Now that's the center back of the neckline. So I hope you can see. Okay, so I've just floated to the neckline point like this. I'll drop my shoulder slope there. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to measure my neckline. So if you notice, it is a high neckline with a little collar. So I'm going to use 3 inches width. I use 3 inches width. And then for the depth from this point, I'm going to come down with just about 2 inches. So that 2 inches, I'll still replace it back with my collar to make it high. So I'll mark it like this. I'll just curve it. So the back and the front, if you notice, I'm cutting both of them the same. So I'll cut the neckline out now like this. Okay, so let's just leave it that way. Let's work on our sleeve. So for the sleeve, depends on how wide you want the down part of your sleeve to be. So you are the one that is going to determine that. So for mine, I want it to be about 16 inches. So I'll use 15 and then just add 1 inch as stitching allowance. So I'm going to mark it on that point. The next thing I'm going to come to, so I've marked it already on that point like that. Depends on how wide you want it to be. So the next thing, I'll come to this point, I'll mark my breast point. That's my bust point, which is 10 inches. And then my under bust, so no need for the under bust. My bust point is 10 inches. And then my waist, I'm using 16 inches. So in between this bust point and this under bust, you are going to determine how much flare you want your sleeves, because the flare is going to flare into your bust point area. So I mark it that way, and then my full length. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do now, from this bust point, I'm going to mark my bust measurement divided into 4. So I'll mark it here. My bust measurement divided into 4. So my bust, I'm using 40 inches divided into 4. So I have 10 inches here. So I'll mark my 10 inches. I'll just add 1 inch stitching allowance to it here. And then for my under bust, that's for my waist. For the waist, I'm using 11 inches and then add 1 inch allowance to it. So it's just going to come like this. And then the next measurement I'm going to measure is the down part. Depends on how wide I want the down part of my blouse to be. So I'm just going to use 14 inches for this, and then I'll add 1 inch allowance to it. So from this point, I'm just going to just mark it. Like, you can decide to do it straight, so it depends on what you want. But since it was tucked into the skirt, you will not really know if it was straight or if it is a little bit open. So you can do it however you want to. So the next thing is from this point. So this point that we have now, like this, our 15 inches that we measured earlier, from this point I'm just going to create that slope into this armhole area, like this, into my bust point area, so you can see what we have here now. So you can see that the sleeves are looking like what we have on the picture, and then make sure this one is coming there on your slope, so you can see what we have. So this place, we're not going to leave it sharp like this, if not it's going to give problem. So I'm just going to curve it a little bit like this, just curve. So I'll have a slant, a little curve. So this down part, I've reduced it a little bit, so I did not use 14 again, I used 13. Okay, so you can see, just create that little curve like that on it, and then depends on how wide. So for your sleeve, if you want it wider, you can decide to go down. So it depends on what you want. Okay, so the next thing, we're done with the dress. I'm going to cut it out right now. So you can see what we have on the table. It looks good, right? So the next thing, it is a very simple process. The next thing, I'll take this back to my machine, and then I will join on my shoulder line. I'll join shoulder to shoulder like this. That's from this point. It is a simple process. I'll join it to this point and then join the other side also, and then so for the back piece, so I'll use this as the back piece. I'm just going to put a little cut here like this. Just put a little cut here. So I'll go and turn it. I'll go and sew it together, because I'm going to add a collar, so I'm not going to put a facing on it. I'll come back and show you once I'm done. Okay, guys. Okay, so you can see I finished stitching. So it really looks good. So you can see the sleeve. You can see how beautiful it is looking. So the only thing that is remaining now is for us to add our collar. So for the collar, I'm just going to measure what I have. I'll measure around the neckline to see how many inches it is, like this. So I have about 17 inches, so I'm going to cut out a piece of about 17 inches. So what I have here is about 19, which is okay. So I'll fold it into 2. So it depends on how wide you want it to be. So I'm going to use 2 inches. So after stitching, it's going to reduce. So I'm just going to use this now, just to turn out my neckline. This is a simple process. I'll just turn it out, and then what I have here on this side, I will stitch this side from the inside, and then cut out every other excess that I have. So I'll go and do that now, and then I'll bring it back and show you. Okay guys, so I finished stitching, so you can see it looks really good. So for the back, I'm going to finish the back. I'm just going to hold this part. I'll use my hemming gum to secure it down neatly. So after securing it down neatly, I'm going to use this. So you can get them in regular accessory shop to buy. And then I'm going to place this like this. So they actually call it, when I bought it, they said they call it Chinese collar. Yeah, that was what they called it. So and then I'm going to put this. So you can use this for both the back, and then you can use it. You can actually wear this both as back and front. So I'll finish it up, and then I'll place it on the mannequin for you to see. For the sleeve, I'll use an English overlock to lock it up, the one they call already made weaving, for those of you that don't know. So I'll use it to finish up the sleeves. Okay guys, so at the end of the day, you can see how our funnel sleeve top looks like. It actually came out really fine. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, please, I would appreciate if you hit on the like button, and if you have not subscribed to Stylish Naija YouTube channel already, please subscribe to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Thank you so much guys. I'll see you on the next video.